Hey all, Bridget Bartlett here. Today I am going to give you an overview of the high level calendars and show you how to actually use them. So, there are so many options and different types of calendars that you can create that sometimes it can get super overwhelming. So, I just want to kind of get back to the basics, give you a good overview of the calendar builder and where you can find all of the different settings. Okay. If you need detailed training on the calendar builder. If you are a client, you can go up here inside of the help docs and check that out. All the different help docs for the calendars. You can also check out the little widgets up here for some guidance on that. If you are a agency or a high level affiliate, you can go to help.gohighlevel.com and there's tons of training there as well. You can also check out my YouTube channel at Bridget Bartlett. Okay, so you'll see that when you click on the calendars tab inside of your high level account, and just real quick, sorry. Just real quick, if you don't have a high level account, you can join as a client or as an affiliate. If you already have a high level account or you're a beginner, you probably want to join as a client. If you do not have a high level account, and you are an experienced or marketer or agency owner, you can actually join High Level, and we have all kinds of bonuses and all of that. So definitely go to myvisionagency.com for that. Okay, so inside of the calendar tab, we have an overview. This is our calendar. Okay, so you see all of these different events here, and you'll see that if we wanted to block some time off, access the calendar, we want to see it's a reoccurring event, we can check all of that out here. So we kind of have like an overview of that specific event. Obviously, if we want to go to further dates, we can just toggle this on here and then we can just quickly go back to today's date if that's what we're looking for. Okay. And of course, you have the annotation here. So you have, if you're, kind of confused about what each thing means, this will tell you there. Okay. So here again, you can toggle between the view of the day that you have, the week, or the month. According to whatever is easier for you to view. You can also choose to view all every event, or you can just sort by the appointments or the blocked slots. Okay. You also can create an appointment here manually. You can choose the calendar you want to add the time to. You can give it a name. You can choose the team member. You can also choose the time zone. And if this does not fit in your the time zone or the time availability that you have set, you can actually choose a custom meeting. I use this a lot when I need like an impromptu meeting or someone that I just need to book an appointment with, not so much a consultation. Okay, so you can actually choose a custom day and time there, and then you can also choose the meeting location. Do you want it to be your calendar default, or do you have a specific meeting location that you want to send them to? Like maybe for this custom meeting, you just want to send them directly to a like your personal Zoom link or something like that. Okay. Now, when you're setting this, of course, you can also choose confirmed or unconfirmed. And you may have a process that you go through where you want to maybe have a team member confirm the meeting or something like that. Then you can definitely save this meeting as unconfirmed. You also can choose from the contacts that you have available just by typing them in, and you can check the drop down menu there to select that. And then if you're going on vacation or something like that, or you just need to block off time, you can actually do that here just by choosing the user or the calendar. And then you can also choose like the appointment time. Maybe you want to say vacation or something. And then you also would choose the time zone and when it's going to start and when it's going to end. Okay. Then you would just click here to block off the time. You can jump to any date on the calendar that you want to just by clicking here. And then you could also, like I said, sort between the blocked off time and so on. Okay. You can check all of the appointments here by the different users. You could also check by the calendar or the groups here. Okay. So if we go into our appointments tab, you can kind of see a rundown here of all of the appointments, and you can search between the appointments, like all appointments or the primary in this calendar, or by the user here. You can also search to or choose to search between the confirmed, the new, where action is required, showed, no showed, canceled, invalid. And then, of course, you can choose whether you want the dates to be ascending or descending. And again, if you wanted to add a new appointment, you could manually do that there. If you go into the calendar settings, you'll see that when we do that, we actually switch into, let's do that again just so you don't miss it. You switch into, when you click calendar settings, you actually switch into the settings area down here. So if we did this manually, we would just go to settings and then we would go to calendars. Okay. So you see we got back to the same place. So let's do that again, just so that you know, because sometimes this confuses people like we're bouncing everywhere. Where's everything at? So now you'll see we're in the settings area under calendars. Okay. So we have a list of all of our individual calendars. And if you wanted to create a calendar, you can just click here and you can choose what type of calendar you want. Okay. Now, you may not know what type of calendar that you want. And actually, the calendar that I use most often is the round robin, even if I don't have team members. And that's just so that you can create a custom Zoom link for the meeting. But again, depending on the type of structure you have for your meetings, you can determine from these different calendar types what type you want to create. So, do you want like a service based calendar for scheduling services? Do you want a simple calendar here? And it says could be used for like physical events or meetings. A round robin, so used for like troubleshooting calls. What I love about the round robin is you can say when someone books an appointment, we want the first appointment to go to this person, the second appointment to go to this person, or maybe we just want to evenly distribute them. So if you have a team, or even if you don't have a team, like I said, I usually default to the round robin calendar. If you have if you're a coach and you have classes, or you have these regularly scheduled meetings where you want one or more people to join, you can do the class booking here, and then also collective booking. So it says schedule meetings with multiple team members simultaneously, ideal for sales calls, technical support interviews, and so on. Okay, so you want to basically just choose the calendar type that you are interested in creating, and then you'll go through the steps to create it. So here is a round robin calendar. I'll just go here and to edit, and you'll see it's very basic, right? We're going to put our calendar logo here. We can give it a name, write a description. We can choose the group that we're adding our calendar to. We can also choose the name of the URL that we're going to create this calendar for. We can choose the meeting invite title. Here we just have like a custom value that's going to pre-fill in whatever their name is. We can optimize for availability or equal distribution. That's what I was saying about the round robin calendar. And then you could check here all of the users that you want to add to that calendar. Okay. So you'll see here that we can actually say like demo user has the custom, because I am the demo user in this account. So you'll see I have custom meeting here. I could have individual links for each of the people, or I could have their custom area connected here. Now, I don't have a Zoom account connected here, so you can see that's why it's saying that. But each user needs to have their own Zoom account in their business profile. And I'm going to show you that in just a second. Okay. So you can see all of the users here added to that profile, and then you could add a color here. Now, also we have the availability. So this is going to be the availability for this particular calendar. If you want to set it for each individual user, you do that at the profile level, which I'm going to show you in just a second. But you want to choose the available times for the calendar, whether it's reoccurring or not, the interval between and after, and before the meetings. You can also choose how far out do you want people to book? I really don't recommend doing more than 14 days, because typically, especially if it's like a free demo, because people usually will forget about the meetings, and they're not as excited a month later after they've booked the demo as they were when they actually booked it. So it's up to you, your date range that you want to put here, but I typically will choose 14 days. The maximum number of bookings, maybe you only do like 4 bookings a day. You want to definitely put that here. So we have bookings per day, bookings per slot per user. So if maybe your whole team will take 16 bookings, but you only want each team member to receive a maximum of 4. Okay. And then also, like I was saying, the buffer time between meetings, and then buffer time after the meetings. Okay. So the forms and payments, you can accept payments when you are creating your calendar, and you can actually create a custom form here. If you have specific questions that you want to ask, you would just choose that form there. You can also choose to pre-populate with sticky contacts. This is really great if your calendar is especially on like a second page of a funnel or something like that. You can also ask for the consent. This is really important if you plan on sending text messages to your leads, to remind them of the appointments. And then you can also choose to allow guests to attend. Okay. You could choose the count or the name and email, right? The confirmation page, you can choose whether to have a kind of a default message here, or you could actually send them to a URL here. And if you have a Facebook pixel, you could add that as well. Okay. You can choose to auto confirm the calendar. So remember in the previous steps, when we were choosing confirmed or unconfirmed, if you have a process in place where you want people to book the appointment, but then you want to manually confirm, then you want to toggle this off. But most people will just have auto confirm the new calendar meetings, and then it will trigger your automations and you're good to go. Okay. You could also choose to accept payments here. So if you want to charge for your meetings, you could do that. You would just type in the amount here. And then, of course, if you want to definitely test if you're setting this up for payments. But once you have tested it and it's all good, you're just going to toggle that over to live, and then your payment option will be live in the calendar. You also have the notification settings here. So if you want to choose the notification or the acknowledgement email here, you're also going to choose who should receive this notification. Is it going to be the contact, the guest, assigned user, additional emails? You probably will want to build this into the workflow. I'm going to show you that in just a second. But what I do is just I don't notify anyone. I just build all of my notifications in the workflow. I feel like when you use this, unless you have a very, very simple setup, it kind of gets hard to keep track of the things you have going on in the workflow and the things you have in the calendar. So, use this at your own risk. Okay. Also, can allow Google Outlook calendars, send invitations, and update emails. Same thing here. I like to build these into the workflow. But again, if you just have a really simple setup and you just kind of, even if you're like brand new to all of this, maybe you just need to get something set up and simple, you could definitely toggle this on until you get used to your workflow. Assign contacts to the respective calendar team members each time an appointment is booked. If you have members working for you and this is an option, of course, you can toggle that on. You can choose to allow them to reschedule or cancel meetings automatically by keeping those toggled on. And then you'll see additional notes here for the appointment. Okay. And then you have the customizations here. So if you want to add a cover image to your calendar, and you can adjust the style and the colors and the name and descriptions and all of that. And then, of course, if you want to preview the widget, you can look there. Now, I don't have a domain connected to this. Okay. Now, it used to be that when you were a HighLevel sub account, you had to use, when you were looking at your calendar link, it would be branded to the agency. But now you have the ability to customize that calendar link so that it has your own link instead of the agency, right? So, what you can do here is you can go into the business profile and you'll scroll down here and you'll see branded domain. So, what you want to do is type in the domain, like it could be link, whatever. Let's just say mydomain.com. And if I click add the domain, it will want to, it'll say, do you want to connect this domain? And then I would say continue. And then if this was a domain that I owned, it's looking right now for the registrar that the domain is hosted on. It didn't find it. So what it's saying is, okay, instead of auto connecting, which is what the system does for us, it's saying that we can add these records to our registrar, and then all of the calendar links, all the preview links for our calendars will all be linked to our custom domain. Okay. So that's definitely really, really helpful. So if we go back here into the calendar settings, you'll see here that we have a list of all the calendars here. We have all of the groups that our calendars are in. And if you have service-based menus, basically like an e-commerce store for services, which is great for salons, for example. You also have the different rooms that you can build in for the service calendars and different equipment as well. Okay, so some really advanced things that you can do here. Now, we also have the preferences here. So you'll see the scheduling option is set to Zoom. You could use a custom link, Google Meet, the phone number and address if it's a location here. You can also check the availability of this account here of the calendar. You can set all of that available there. Like I said, the user is going to have their own availability. And then, of course, you can click here for the connection. So what's really cool about HighLevel is it will actually connect to your Google account, and you can choose to connect the calendars, but you also can choose here per staff member where you want to connect this calendar. So if I wanted to connect the calendar for like demo user 3 here, I could do that, right? But I'm actually logged in right now as demo user one. You can see up here that I'm actually logged in as this user. So that's why I have the ability to see these settings here. So I have my calendars, and then of course I have the linked calendar and any calendars or that I want to check for conflicts. I also have, since I'm demo user one, I have my Zoom account connected here. Also, Google Organic Booking. So this is cool. When your Google account is connected, you can toggle this on, and in the Google listing where it says to book, they can book appointments directly into your calendar and, of course, trigger all of your automations that you have from the calendar. So that's directly from your Google business listing. Now, also the local service ads, if you're running ads there, you can connect your account as well so that your leads go into your HighLevel account. Okay, super, super cool. Now, I wanted to show you here in your profile. And if you don't see the profile, it's because you're not logged in as a user. Okay. To adjust the profile or to even see this tab, you need to make sure that you are logged in to your branded agency as the user that you want to adjust the profile. So if it's your own, you need to make sure you're logged in as yourself as a user in your branded agency. Or if you're doing this for a client, make sure that you're logged in. And you can do that by going over here and choosing login as, and then you can choose the person that you want to log in as. Okay. Um, so here, if you scroll down, this is where you're going to set all of the personal settings for this specific user. So if you want to select the calendar here, you could do that. This user's language. So if they speak Spanish or another language, they can actually adjust the platform to their own language. You also have the two-way sync for their account, their Google account or Outlook. They can also set their email signature here. And then also, like I showed before, connect their Google Calendar and then their Zoom account as well. They can also choose their specific user availability and the days and hours here. So that is for them specifically. So when you're using like the round robin calendar, for example, it's going to, if the calendar is set at a different time than the availability, for example, let's say the round robin has Thursdays available or Sundays available or something, but this user is not available on Sunday, then it would route that to the next available team member because this team member is not available on that day. So that's why we have the calendar settings as the business, and then we have the user settings, which is in their individual profile. And if you did want to see like all of the members in your account, you can go to My Staff and you can see all of those assigned members. And of course, you can click in here and edit some of the things like user availability and things like that. Okay. So that is really the quick and dirty rundown of the HighLevel calendars, how you get them set up. So let's talk about how you actually add them to a website page. So let's go into the sites here and let's go to funnels. And of course, the website would be the same way. Okay. Let's just click into this page here. I don't even know what this is. We're going to open this up here. So let's say that this is a page on our website that we want to embed our calendar in. Okay, so there's two different ways that we can do that. While this loads, I'm going to go into my calendar. I'm going to show you one way to do this. So let's go into calendar settings and you'll see this calendar. Let's say that I wanted to embed this. Actually, let's choose an active one. So we'll say that we want to embed this into even if it's not a HighLevel website page, it could be in another website page, right? So we want to click here and then I'm just going to grab the embed code. Of course, I could choose a one-time link or grab the permanent or the pretty scheduling link, right? So I'm going to grab the embed code though, and I'm going to go back here into my website and I'm going to delete this and I want to add my calendar. So one way to add my calendar is by going to the calendar widget. I'm just going to drag that in there and then I'm going to choose, oops, the calendar widget. Here we go. Let's find it. Did it just disappear? Here we go. So I'm going to drag that calendar widget in there and it immediately is asking, do we want to use the group page? So remember when we talked about this, we have calendars and then we have groups. So a group is basically a combination of calendars. Okay. It's just a page with different calendars on it. So do we want to use the group page with all the calendars or do we want to use an individual calendar? So I'm not going to use a group page. Let's just use an individual calendar. So I'll choose this one. And then now you'll see that we have embedded this calendar into the website page. Okay. Now, if we had a different website builder and for a client or for ourselves that we're using, and we wanted to embed that calendar into the page, but it was not a high level website, we can use this option here, code or whatever website building builder that you're using. You can drag in the custom HTML code, and then you can, of course, just paste that code like I showed you here. And then same thing, you're just going to embed that calendar there. So if we want to preview what this looks like, you can see that's what it looks like embedded. So let's see here. Let's look at the live view. Okay. So that's what it's going to look like embedded. So it's going to function all of the same. All of the automations are going to trigger all of those things. It's just the depending on the way that you add it to the page. Okay. So the next thing I want to show you is the automations that I was talking about. Okay. So let's go into the automation tab, and we want to build out an automation for our calendar. So I'm just going to choose select a recipe because HighLevel makes this super easy. So if you look down here, of course, you could pre-build one or, a custom build one if you want to. But if you look down here, you'll see automation confirmation, reminder, plus survey and review request. If you don't have a survey, don't choose this one. If you have not set up your reputation management, which we have over here, then of course you don't want to choose that one. But we can choose appointment booking. I think there's one that has appointment booking, and here we go. Where is it? Appointment booking. I thought there was one that says they probably changed the name of. Okay, let's do detect intent to reply to the booking link. Oh, here we go. All right, recipe, appointment confirmation plus reminder. So you see there's lots of options that we can choose from, but this one is really simple. So let's choose that. So now what we have is allow reentry is now on by default. Okay, so if you guys didn't know this, I just saw an announcement about this, but now all of the workflows are enabled as auto reentry by default. And what that means is if you go to the settings tab, this will be toggled on. It's weird that it said that, but it wasn't actually toggled on. But this will be toggled on by default because really we want most of the time we want our automations to, no matter how many times someone's come into the automation, it will be we want them to come in multiple times. Now I can understand probably with this one, it was not, just because this is a pre-built recipe and it really wouldn't make sense for them to have booking multiple appointments. So I can definitely see why we would want that to be toggled off, but that's what that message meant. Okay. So here we're going to choose the trigger. So in the workflows, what do we want to happen to make all the rest of the things happen? Right. So we're going to choose the appointment status is confirmed. So remember in the previous steps when I talked about, the unconfirmed and the confirmed appointments. So here, if we wanted to build in a workflow for unconfirmed and we wanted someone to manually, check that, of course I could choose that. But if I want confirmed, then, and I set my calendar to confirmed, then I want to say every time a appointment is confirmed, I want these things to take place. Okay. So this is already pre-built in your account for you. So you have the confirmation email. So an appointment, someone has gone to our calendar, they have booked, and it is auto confirmed. That's how we set that up. Now it's saying your appointment is confirmed for, and it's pulling in these custom values here from here. Okay, so if you go to appointment, you'll see all of the available custom values that you could build into your email here. Okay, so it's already built for you, so you don't need to do any of that. Just know that it is an option if you have some more advanced use cases. So your appointment has been confirmed for, and it's going to pull in the start time at, and then pull in the start date. And then appointment time zone. Let us know if you have any questions. In the meantime, when it's time for the Zoom meeting, you can use this link. Okay. Now, this link is going to be if you have a like just a one-time link that you want everyone to use, which I highly discourage you from doing, then you could just paste that there. Okay. You could also come up here and go to the appointment location. meeting location and type that in. And so if you have Zoom connected at the user level, okay, then it's going to, or at the account level, however you have your calendar set up. So if you have the appointment here at the meeting location, if Zoom is connected and that is the meeting location, then you can add this here. And then whatever that Zoom link is when the appointment is booked, the calendar will communicate with Zoom. It will create that custom event, and then it will auto populate the meeting location with that link. Okay, so all of that stuff happens just by connecting your Zoom account and making sure that the user is connected to their Zoom account. Okay, so and then of course we have this custom value here that's going to pre-fill in whatever the business location is. And in that form where we said that we wanted the ability to allow them to cancel, add to the Google or Outlook calendar, or reschedule, that's why we have these options down here. Okay, so that's the email that gets sent, and of course we're going to wait 24 hours before the appointment time. And then we are going to send this email. Same thing. Okay. So want to make sure add your custom location there. Of course, you can edit that however you want to. We're going to send them that. And then, of course, an hour before the appointment, we're going to send them another email here. And then we are going to send also a text message. Okay. So make sure that you have purchased a phone number and gotten that set up in your account, but you can send a text message. If you don't want to, of course, all you need to do is delete that stuff and you don't have to worry about it. Then we're going to send them another email 5 minutes ahead of time. And we're going to like remind them and give them the link to the Zoom. And again, if you wanted to send a text message to say, hey, the meeting's starting, which really is a great strategy, then you can do that. And if you're not sending text, you just delete that. Okay, so that's really how easy it is to set up those automations. It's basically built in for you. You just need to make sure that your Zoom account, your calendar, your availability, and all of that stuff is set up. And then, of course, whatever link you want to share your calendar with, either embedded into a website or you can just share the calendar link. Okay, so you guys, that is really it's very simple to create a calendar, but I totally get maybe sometimes you're just totally overwhelmed. So